Experience the intriguing scenario where a billionaire, cloaked in anonymity, enters his own dealership, only to be met with rejection from his own employees. At Stories of Justice, we present narratives that provoke thought and reshape understanding. Engage with this enlightening lesson on respect and integrity by liking, subscribing, and sharing your thoughts in the comments. Keanu Reeves drove into the parking lot of Elysian Autos, the premier dealership he had recently taken over in the vibrant city of La Minera. The heat danced above the polished luxury cars lined up outside, their shiny surfaces radiating brilliance in the sunlight. He eased his unassuming SUV into a discreet spot at the rear and emerged, pausing to survey the dealership's exterior. He was dressed to blend in, not to stand out. He donned a simple black t-shirt, slightly worn jeans, and a well-loved leather jacket, his attire for the day. His choice to dress casually was intentional. He sought to uncover the dealership's genuine nature, to witness its operations in the absence of the new owner's watchful eye. As he approached the entrance, he observed a small cluster of employees engaged in conversation near the front desk. The soft murmur of laughter and light chatter drifted through the glass doors. Keanu pushed the door ajar and entered the room. The climate-controlled showroom offered a refreshing escape from the sweltering heat outside, infused with the subtle aroma of leather and newly applied wax. Lines of immaculate vehicles shimmered beneath the brilliant overhead illumination. The murmurs faded into silence as he entered the room. Keanu noticed the fleeting looks shared among the employees, their gazes darting to his relaxed outfit. He sensed the delicate change in atmosphere, the sort that conveyed more than mere words, yet he was not here to jump to conclusions. He had come to take note of everything around him. Then, from across the showroom, she emerged Zara. Zara was a woman in her middle years, possessing defined features and an intensely piercing gaze. Her fitted blazer and sleek heels exuded confidence, the clipboard cradled under her arm enhancing her aura of competence. She advanced with determination, her heels echoing on the gleaming surface beneath her. At first glance, her expression seemed courteous, yet there was a tension in her smile that Keanu couldn't overlook. "Excuse me," Zara remarked, her voice measured and observant. "How may I help you today?" Keanu wore a serene smile, exuding a tranquil presence. "Just here to browse," he remarked nonchalantly, waving a hand toward the vehicles. Zara's gaze sharpened, assessing him from top to bottom, her courteous facade faltering just a bit, giving way to a more unwelcome presence. "Are you in the market for a new vehicle?" she inquired, her voice laced with a hint of skepticism. Keanu gave a nod, his smile unwavering. "Is it something along those lines?" Zara's lips tightened. "Indeed, we serve a distinctly particular group of clients here. A majority of our inventory necessitates pre-qualification." Before she could complete her thought, another employee interjected with a suggestion. "Hello, Zara, the delivery person has arrived." For a brief instant, her focus drifted, yet her eyes quickly returned to Keanu, as if to guarantee he remained close by. Keanu arched an eyebrow, maintaining a playful tone. "Are you suggesting that I'm unqualified?" The inquiry appeared to momentarily surprise her. She regained her composure swiftly, her stance becoming rigid. "I'm merely attempting to spare you some time," she responded with a strained smile. "These vehicles begin at 6 figures. Perhaps I can guide you to them." Keanu's demeanor was calm, yet he registered her choice of words in his mind. His serene demeanor remained intact, yet the quiet ache of her presumptions was unmistakable. The moment stretched on, a palpable tension enveloping the space as Zara fixed her gaze on him, anticipation radiating from her every pore. Keanu surveyed the showroom, feigning interest in a nearby vehicle, a polished silver coupe boasting a bold and dynamic design. His fingers grazed the door handle, and he cast a fleeting look back at Zara. "That's a nice car," he remarked with a hint of admiration. Her brows knitted together just a touch, yet she managed to conjure another smile. "Is it? When you feel prepared to delve deeper, we can arrange a meeting. Please refrain from touching the vehicles for the time being." Keanu paused, reflecting on her words, then took a step back from the car. With a single nod, his hands tucked into his pockets. He motioned for her to go on. Okay, I'm ready to listen. What suggestions do you have for someone in my position? Zara's eyes widened, taken aback by the bluntness of his inquiry. Yet, before she could reply, Keanu interjected, "If you believe you understand my needs, I'm listening intently." Her courteous exterior faltered slightly, exposing the impatience that lay beneath. "Perhaps something that's a bit easier on the wallet? I can provide you with guidance to a dealership that focuses on pre-owned vehicles." Keanu offered a subtle smile, yet it failed to illuminate his eyes. He had witnessed more than enough. "That's a rather bold assumption," he remarked gently. The declaration lingered, and for a fleeting instant, Zara hesitated. With a deep breath, she gathered herself and squared her shoulders. "I will return shortly with a selection of choices," she remarked, striding away with purpose. Keanu observed her departure, his face a mask of mystery. He glanced back at the silver coupe, his image gazing at him from the sleek, polished surface. Today promised to be quite intriguing. Keanu stood in the middle of the showroom, hands tucked into his pockets, his eyes wandering across the array of cars. He was not one to leap to hasty judgments, yet Zara's dismissive demeanor was difficult to overlook. The staff had returned to their discussions around him. Even so, he occasionally noticed a fleeting look aimed his way. He had grown familiar with that level of scrutiny throughout the years. The unspoken critique, the veiled glances. Zara reappeared shortly after, gripping her clipboard firmly as if it were a protective barrier. Her quick pace and strained grin revealed her irritation. "All right," she said, pausing a few feet from him. "I've gathered some alternatives that could better fit your circumstances." Keanu inclined his head ever so slightly. "What about my circumstances?" "Indeed," Zara responded, her tone sharp. She presented him with a printout of used cars, each accompanied by thorough descriptions and price tags that were significantly lower than what the dealership usually offered. "These models are designed to be user-friendly, dependable, cost-effective, and, quite simply, functional." Keanu accepted the list in silence, his gaze moving over the words on the page. A pre-owned sedan, a vintage SUV, a small hybrid vehicle. His lips curled slightly in a subtle smile, but he swiftly concealed it, folding the paper and slipping it into his pocket. He acknowledged the effort, his tone steady. Zara appeared briefly taken aback by his reply, yet swiftly regained her composure, her hands placed firmly on her hips. "Listen," she said, her voice lowering as if she were about to unveil a hidden truth. "I'm simply aiming for a practical approach in our conversation. Elysian Autos caters to a select few. I appreciate your time and want to make the most of it." Keanu locked eyes with her, his demeanor steady yet resolute. "What leads you to believe that I don't fit the profile of your ideal customer?" Zara paused, but just for an instant. "I have been at this for quite a while. I can sense when someone is in over their head, out of their depth," Keanu repeated, his tone calm, bordering on contemplative. "Fascinating." A glimmer of doubt danced in Zara's eyes, yet she continued forward. "I'm simply expressing my truth. Being honest from the start is far more preferable than allowing someone to walk away feeling let down." Keanu emitted a gentle laugh, tilting his head slightly in amusement. "Truthful, is it? I appreciate sincerity. What do you think of this? You allowed me to converse with the owner. Do you believe we can bring that to fruition?" Zara's eyebrows arched in surprise. For the first time, she appeared truly taken aback. "Who is the owner?" "Today, that's simply not feasible. The owner makes purposeful visits, not just casual ones. They have a lot on their plate." Keanu nodded slightly, a look of certainty on his face. "Perhaps you might consider giving them a call. Make sure they are aware of my presence. I believe they would be interested in meeting me." Zara's smile grew strained. Her patience was wearing thin, and it was evident. "Excuse me, sir. I am making every effort to remain courteous, but this situation is becoming quite absurd. I have additional clients to assist. If you're truly interested in purchasing a vehicle, we can arrange a meeting with one of our knowledgeable sales consultants." "So what happens next?" Keanu inquired, maintaining a composed demeanor, yet a distinct sharpness had crept into his voice. Zara's eyes narrowed, her irritation rising like steam. If that's the case, I must kindly request that you exit. The phrases lingered, thick with meaning. Keanu remained motionless, his eyes fixed on hers for an instant. The whole showroom appeared to be suspended in anticipation. With deliberate care, Keanu reached into his pocket and retrieved his phone. Very well, he remarked, as he navigated through his list of contacts. I will handle the call personally. Zara blinked, a crease forming on her brow. What are you up to? Keanu lifted the phone to his ear, simply stating that he was calling the owner. It won't take much time. Zara's confidence wavered, her annoyance transforming into uncertainty. She parted her lips to utter a sound, yet silence enveloped her. A handful of employees paused in their tasks, captivated by the drama that was unfolding before them. Keanu raised a finger, signaling for a brief pause. She turned slightly away, her voice soft as she spoke into the phone. Indeed, it's me. I'm currently at the dealership. All is well, merely a slight miscommunication. Would you mind informing them of my presence? He concluded the conversation and tucked the phone away, pivoting back to Zara. They will arrive soon, he stated plainly. Zara gazed at him, her lips parted ever so slightly. Whom did you just call? Keanu hesitated before responding, his eyes drifting around the showroom, pausing on the staff who were now observing him closely. We'll see, he remarked, a hint of playfulness in his voice. The atmosphere in the room was thick with tension, a heavy burden felt by all in attendance. Zara shifted restlessly, her facade starting to falter. As moments ticked by, the atmosphere in the room remained suspended, untouched by the passage of time. Zara occupied herself with her clipboard, her movements stiff and deliberate, revealing her underlying discomfort. Keanu, in contrast, leaned effortlessly against one of the high-end SUVs, his relaxed presence amplifying the underlying tension. The sparse employees in the showroom exchanged hushed whispers, casting furtive glances at the drama that was unfolding before them. It was evident that all eyes were fixed in anticipation, as if the air was thick with expectation for an arrival or an event. The creak of the main door swinging open shattered the stillness. A man in a sleek navy suit entered, the sound of his polished shoes softly echoing on the tile floor. His expression carried a blend of seriousness and warmth, and his gaze quickly settled on Keanu. Mr. Reeves, the man exclaimed with a broad grin, reaching out his hand as he drew near. It's a pleasure to see you. Keanu met the handshake with a solid grip, a subtle smile playing at the edges of his mouth. Thank you for being here, Lysander. Thank you for that. The atmosphere in the room grew tense. Zara's clipboard almost slipped from her grasp as her gaze flitted between Keanu and Lysander, the regional director of the dealership. Her bewilderment swiftly transformed into evident distress. Wait, Mr. Reeves? She repeated, her voice wavering. Lysander faced her, his warm demeanor transformed into a more formal, even brusque manner. Zara, I notice you've had the pleasure of meeting Mr. Reeves. Zara blinked, her lips parting and closing as if she were on a quest for the perfect expression. I was unaware. Were you not aware that he's the new owner of this dealership? Lysander completed it for her, his tone cutting. He cast a fleeting look at Keanu, a hint of regret etched on his features. I hope this wasn't the kind of welcome you were hoping for? Keanu lifted a hand, halting him. Everything is fine, Lysander. Zara and I seem to have started on the wrong note. His voice carried a serene quality, yet the gravity of his words held the entire room in rapt attention. Zara's complexion drained of color, and she retreated a step, her clipboard held tightly against her chest as if it were her only source of support. I'm so sorry, she stammered, her voice a mere whisper. I was unaware. You weren't aware of what? Keanu inquired, his voice maintaining a soft yet resolute quality. Could I truly possess a space like this? Could it be that a person like me truly has a place here? Her eyes grew large, and for an instant, she appeared completely adrift. Keanu raised a hand, interrupting her before she could finish. "It's perfectly all right, Zara, truly." He moved in a bit, his voice lowering to a level that drew everyone in closer. "However, may I pose a question to you? Had I not been the owner, would your treatment of me have changed in any way? Would you have shown me the same level of respect as you would to someone who entered this place dressed in a suit and tie?" Zara parted her lips, yet silence enveloped her. The stillness was overwhelming. Keanu acknowledged her silence with a nod, as if it spoke volumes on its own. He faced Lysander, his voice imbued with a newfound command. "Let's assemble everyone in the conference room. I believe it's time for us to have a discussion regarding the way things operate in this place." The employees entered the polished conference room, the atmosphere heavy with anticipation. The space, crafted to captivate with its transparent barriers and contemporary decor, seemed suffocating today. Zara occupied a spot at the rear, her typical self-assured presence giving way to an anxious quietude. Keanu stood at the head of the table, composed and assured, his presence captivating the attention of all in the room. Lysander lingered by the door, arms folded, his face a mask of inscrutability as he observed the staff settling into their seats. The soft hum of conversation faded as Keanu cleared his throat, his eyes scanning the crowd. "Thank you all for coming together on such short notice," Keanu began, his voice steady yet resolute. "Greetings to all. I'm Keanu Reeves, and I'm excited to share that I am now the proud owner of Elysian Autos." A ripple of surprise swept through a handful of employees, their responses oscillating between intrigue and a hint of embarrassment. Zara slumped deeper into her chair, steering clear of any gaze. "Today, I arrived in a casual outfit for a specific purpose," Keanu said, his tone unwavering. "I was curious to observe the inner workings of this dealership incognito. I aim to immerse myself in the emotions a potential customer could encounter upon entering these doors." He allowed the words to linger in the air for a moment before proceeding. "Today's experience left much to be desired. I face scrutiny not for my potential contributions, but for my appearance. My intention is not to point fingers at anyone. However, it's essential to discuss what this reveals about the culture within this dealership." Zara squirmed in her chair, her cheeks burning with embarrassment. Keanu's gaze momentarily shifted to her before returning to the collective gathering. "It's not solely about me," he remarked. "It concerns each individual who enters those doors, every client who defies the established stereotype of what a luxury car purchaser appears to be." A young sales associate, Trix, raised his hand with a hint of hesitation. Keanu acknowledged him with a nod. "Proceed, Mr. Reeves," Trix started with a hint of anxiety. "It seems that many of us strive to ensure fairness for our customers, yet there are moments when making assumptions becomes a challenge." Keanu nodded, a contemplative look crossing his face. "I understand, we all possess biases, whether we choose to acknowledge them or not. However, the reality is that merely attempting to be fair is insufficient. It is essential that we confront those biases head-on. It is essential to cultivate a space where all individuals are valued, irrespective of their looks, heritage, or any other factors." He paused, allowing the words to resonate before proceeding. "This dealership has established a reputation for excellence. However, true excellence extends beyond the vehicles we offer. The focus is on the journey we create. From this point forward, that experience will be grounded in respect, inclusivity, and fairness." A wave of consensus swept through the room, yet some expressions lingered in skepticism. Keanu's eyes lingered on Zara, who remained still, her hands clenched firmly in her lap. "Zara," he said with a soft yet resolute tone, "I wish to offer you the chance to express yourself. Do you have any thoughts you'd like to share?" Every gaze was fixed upon her. She paused, her voice a mere whisper when she finally found the words. "I made a mistake," she confessed, her cheeks burning with embarrassment. "I underestimated you, and for that, I sincerely apologize." Keanu nodded, his expression a mystery. "I appreciate your kind words. I trust this experience will be a reminder for everyone involved, not solely for you. Change begins when we take responsibility." He pivoted to face the group, advancing onward. Moving forward, we will introduce new training initiatives to guarantee that this dealership embodies the principles I hold dear. All customers should be treated with respect, without exception. If there are any concerns regarding this, please voice them now. The atmosphere was still. The stillness in the conference room was palpable, interrupted solely by the soft murmur of the air conditioning. Silence enveloped the room, yet the gravity of Keanu's words hung in the air, affecting each person there. Keanu allowed the silence to linger, emphasizing his message before he spoke again. His tone steady yet determined. "Excellent," he remarked. "I'm pleased to observe that we all share a common understanding. Transformation may pose challenges, yet it remains essential, and this dealership is poised to set the standard." He stepped back from the table, his hands gently placed on its edge as he leaned in a bit. "Allow me to clarify, my intention today is not to bring humiliation to anyone. I have gained insight into the culture I have inherited and the ways in which we can enhance it." His gaze shifted to Zara, who remained silently seated at the rear. "Zara," he said, his voice gentle enough to convey that he meant no harm. "You are a seasoned leader, and I have no doubt that your journey has been filled with dedication and effort. However, today served as a crucial reminder for you and for everyone involved." Zara lifted her eyes, locking onto his gaze for the very first moment. "I understand," she said, her voice trembling yet earnest. "I acknowledge my mistake, and I am committed to rectifying it." Keanu nodded. "I believe in second chances," he stated plainly, "but accountability must come first. I look forward to our one-on-one meeting to go over the next steps. For now, let's concentrate on progressing." He stood tall, redirecting his focus to the rest of the team. "We're not merely offering vehicles. We're cultivating trust, forging connections, and embodying a commitment to excellence. If you agree with that, I'm ready to assist you throughout the entire journey." A chorus of assent rose, more vibrant and sincere than before. The team appeared to unwind, the early strain yielding to a feeling of revitalized determination. Even Lysander, who had been standing silently by the door, acknowledged with a nod of approval. Keanu offered a subtle smile, one that conveyed a blend of relief and resolve. "Very well, let's return to our tasks. And keep in mind, the way we treat others is far more significant than any product we offer." As the employees started to exit the room, Keanu noticed Zara hesitating by the door. She moved towards him with uncertainty, her fingers fidgeting restlessly. "Mr. Reeves," she started, her voice barely above a whisper. "I truly appreciate the opportunity you've given me to improve. I will not disappoint you." Keanu met her gaze for a brief moment before replying, his tone unwavering. "I truly hope you mean that, Zara. Deeds resonate more profoundly than mere expressions. Yet I hold the conviction that transformation is possible for those who genuinely seek it." She nodded, her gaze sincere. Keanu observed her departure before shifting his attention to Lysander. He suggested we arrange a meeting with the staff for next week. "I aim to ensure that everyone is clear on the expectations as we progress." Lysander smiled, his admiration for Keanu clear. "Absolutely, I've got it covered." As Keanu stepped back into the showroom, he surveyed the cars, their polished surfaces shimmering in the afternoon light. He contemplated the considerable effort that awaited him. Yet, for the first time that day, a sense of optimism washed over him. This transcended the mere operation of a dealership. It was about crafting something grander, a realm where individuals were evaluated by their essence, not their looks. With determination, Keanu was prepared to take the lead. Later that week, Keanu observed Zara interacting warmly with a new customer, a young artist dressed casually, reminiscent of his own past style. She absorbed every word, her expression reflecting true curiosity and admiration, marking the start of the transformation he had imagined. This modest triumph instilled in him the belief that the path to a more inclusive and respectful Elysian Autos was truly attainable. Word of Keanu's visit quickly circulated beyond the dealership, turning into a hot topic throughout Luminera. This experience served as a valuable lesson in the dynamics of community dialogue, emphasizing the importance of respect, discernment, and effective leadership. Nearby educational institutions utilized it as a case study to enlighten students on the perils of bias and the significance of integrity. Community leaders commended the story, urging for comparable evaluations within their organizations to promote fairness and equality. The story of Elysian Autos went beyond its backdrop, motivating both enterprises and people to see past mere appearances, cultivating a deeper awareness that respect and dignity are inherent rights, not something to be gained through status or riches. All narratives presented on this channel are purely imaginative and crafted solely for your enjoyment. We champion a vision of a world where all individuals enjoy equal rights under the law, fostering a society that thrives on fairness, progress, and enlightenment. We aim to convey uplifting narratives that enhance the quality of life. Any similarity to actual events, persons, or entities is entirely coincidental and not intended. These narratives are not intended to allude to any real individuals, occurrences, or organizations, and are devoid of any political or religious implications.